Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with some exciting data mines here in regards to what's coming up and likely to be confirmed in this coming week's Marvel Strike Force blog post on Friday. But in case you guys like getting the head start on this is why we love taking the analysis and taking a look at the game files of what's slotted in right now. So let's get started. First and foremost, we have to talk about the new monthly event that's coming up, and this is going to be the release here of GORR, the God Butcher. So Autumn Revolution, earn marvelous rewards throughout September. As you can see, this is going to be earning points towards this month-long milestone by collecting the following items from events and daily free claims. So Sentinel Core, this is the name of the numerous and most quantitative item that's going to be recurring through all the milestones. You want to collect as much of these as you can, but individually they're not worth much, but over time all of them will add up. Energy Blaster, Anti-Mutant Laser, and the Power Dampener. These are the three special items that are coming from the main milestones expected for the coming weeks. There's also going to be several milestones that provide progress towards Autumn Revolution. Those are the main ones, and as you progress, you're going to earn GORR shards specifically, and as well as fully crafted gear, tier 17 gear, and more. What I do like about this change is that they are specifically now pointing out that you're going to be earning direct shards for GORR, as opposed to the current event right now, the Annihilators Initiate, I believe it's called, for this monthly, where they only give us orbs, right? So obviously, having direct GORR shards is going to help for those of you that have not unlocked them. And as well, this is technically going to be then his quote-unquote free-to-play event, as folks will likely get his unlock following. But remember, it takes time to get into this milestone, especially with it being a monthly. And it does look like it's following the same suit as the previous one, which is these new monthly events have been taking roughly about 3 weeks each time now. So just something to be on the watch for. Which leads us now into the first main milestone, Sentinels Assemble. So with this one, earn Sentinel Cores and a chance at Sentinel Diamonds. Gain progress in the 7-day event by spending campaign energy, battling in Blitz with annihilated characters, so probably bonus points if you have them at 5 stars and above as well. That usually gives you a sizable bonus, and completing the Sentinel Strike Web milestone and daily free web claims. Earn fantastic rewards, including 3 diamonds for Sentinel and T3 ISO 8. You'll also earn more points towards the month-long Autumn Revolution milestone by collecting Sentinel Cores and an Energy Blaster. Now, it doesn't say in the description here, ladies and gentlemen, but this is speculated to be the next leaderboard event. Just because they've been switching off every other week. If you recall, with this week's event with ISO 8, there's no leaderboard attached to it that's coming up here for Gladiators. So next week, we would expect this to actually be a hoarding event that can potentially help you do better in the leaderboard. And we don't know if there's going to be power cores tied back to this just yet. I'll give you guys an update if so, but otherwise, it looks like the difference maker likely will be if you can get bonus points from blitzing. Especially those 5 stars and above, and as well if you have a lot of campaign energy hoarded. So that's what we're going to be doing free to play to get a competitive edge on this, because we haven't been using our cores anyway. So this is a good opportunity now to start building up for next week, especially when we know there's a campaign energy spending event. I'll show you guys real quickly how to do that once we go through all the data mines, but I also want to talk real quickly here about the Sentinel Strike Web milestone, because this one's also tied back to the above event. You're going to be earning some additional Thanos Annihilator orbs for these Iron Legion orb fragments, and as well the Sentinels Assemble, Autumn Revolution, and Milestone Progress. So overall, it just adds up to the 2 milestones we just talked about. And similar to the monthly event that's starting next Monday, it does look like the timing of this, based on the timing we see with the event going live today, it looks like it is going to be next Monday. So starting today, you guys basically have a full 6 to 7 days, depending on when you're watching this, to start hoarding campaign energy. And by that time, we should have about 2,000 to 3,000 plus by the time we start next week. So a good opportunity to take advantage of. Again, I'll show you guys real quickly after this. Last but not least, we have the Dark Future milestone here as well. And this is cool because we're celebrating Orcus Raids and Orcus Tech with a new Alliance event. Battle and raids, collect milestone points from Orcus Raid nodes, and earn the Allied Supplier Orb Fragments. That's great and dandy, but the really cool thing about this milestone is the fact that they finally included T3 ISO 8 materials in an Alliance event. So you can see it still includes the standard Sentinel Cores, Orcus Team Tech Orb, so hopefully some more shards of characters, probably Lady Deathstrike, Scientist Supreme. Maybe they'll give us some newly released characters over time, but I doubt it. Ciphers, which is also part of the event. And then last but not least, the T3 ISO 8 materials, which is going to help us immensely, especially since we're building it up and getting ready for Dark Dimension 8. I suspect that the Dark Dimension 8 announcement should be very soon. It could be even as soon as this week, early next week, but it just seems like it's all coming to a close now, especially when you take a look at the in-store here. And you see The radioactive treat store is only lasting for another 11 days now, so it's gonna be pretty close, guys. It's gonna be really close here. So if I were you, you know, I obviously start preparing here and getting ready, but you know, just to demonstrate for you guys how to hoard campaign energy. Remember, we haven't been coring campaign ever since the last campaign energy event. So naturally over time, if you guys have been doing your daily objectives, you should have built up this yellow energy here that's a refresh. This is used before power cores. And you can see this is why it's such a nice strategy, because we've built up a balance here over time that we can use now completely free for us to build a balance. So now I'm going to use this yellow refresh before the power cores. You have to use all this first before you can power core, right? So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to tap the 50. It uses the 50. Now you can see my balance went over the maximum threshold for campaign energy. I'm going to do this 2 more times here, because after that, you can see the cost increase, right? So I'm going to still do this tomorrow. And by the time you deplete all of the refreshes here, you're going to be able to use cores. And that's how we're going to get a head start, guys. You can see right already, we are close to 600 campaign energy. We're going to keep doing this until next week. Actually, I should be north of 4,000 to 5,000 campaign energy if my math checks out. So definitely be on the watch out for that, guys. But yes, start hoarding now. Campaign energy is going to make a difference. Just same thing as how, you know, we have the Gladiator event that's actually going live today. That event is called the Greater Purpose. And again, this one is scoring here. There's no leaderboard, by the way, attached to this, but the scoring here is that you blitz with Annihilators, you blitz with Gladiator, and so forth. So very same format to next week's event. Only difference is that spending ISO 8 campaign energy is going to give you 4 points per. So maybe we'll get a similar translation next week. Maybe it'll be 4 points per campaign energy, but that's what I'm hoping for. Only difference is obviously next week, there's a leaderboard tied to this. So this is going to be very, very sizable to add to this. So I'm pretty excited to use all of this ISO 8 campaign energy when the daily reset happens today. I also want to point out, guys, obviously then the other #1 question I get asked is then what happens to the strike pass, and you're going through it here, right? So this milestone right here, this is typically the one that's tied back to campaign energy spending. It's not going to be used today. It's not going to be used for the next week, and that's okay. Usually when we miss this for a week, we can still usually hit everything and accomplish everything in the strike pass anyways. And in all fairness, even if you scroll all the way to the far right, you're going to be missing out potentially on maybe the 10 shards of Hank Pym, maybe the uniques, but you should still be able to get that 2 million gold and the crimson gear. So overall, even if you miss a bit of time, I found that consistency wise, we still are able to hit mostly everything, if not miss the last one or second last one. But it's honestly not a big deal. This is well worth it, especially if we can capitalize on more of the T3 ISO 8. As we suspect, it's probably going to be similar to what's happening with old enemies. And if you can rank in, you know, the top 5,000, 7,500, 10,000, getting some ions, some orbs, and as well diamonds and the radioactive treats to help us with the preparation here of Odin and Dark Dimension 8. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know what your guys' game plan is. Hopefully you're able to take advantage as well. Use power cores to build up that campaign energy. And in the meantime, we'll be back with more information when we hear more. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.